Greetings, everyone. My name is Jerry Frank, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of STRATAFOLIO. And with me today is Lindsay Jakubovic, and she's our marketing manager. And I'm going to be taking you through the presentation, and Lindsay will be monitoring the chat session for any questions. And while I introduce our agenda today, I want to give everyone a chance to submit some questions so Lindsay can keep me apprised of any questions that are coming up as we're going through the presentation. Lindsay and I are going to take the video off so that we can allow for a better experience for you all. So with that, I will take off our camera. In a second. All right, apparently I cannot take the camera off. So today we're going to give you a quick overview of what STRATAFOLIO is and then share a detailed demo. And we're going to talk about our pricing as well as our onboarding process. And finally, we will take the opportunity to address any questions from the audience. Thank you in advance for submitting your questions as you signed up, because we did get a few questions ahead of time and we've worked those answers into our presentation. But as we go, please feel free to reach out and share those questions, because we do want to address those if we can. All right, so the common issues we encounter among those who own and manage commercial real estate are double data entry, missing revenue opportunities, and time-consuming processes and procedures. And for instance, we have a client in Miami whose portfolio consists of about 35 strip malls and industrial spaces, and they have these exact problems. And through the onboarding process, we discovered that they had missed $90,000 in revenue. Whoops. And the subscription and the onboarding cost was just a fraction of that $90,000. And now they're set up and they're going to capture all of that revenue this year. And we see this exact same scenario playing out across all of the customers we bring on of all portfolio sizes. Obviously, not everyone's at a $90,000 in lost revenue, but this happens. And if you want to see more about some other clients, we do have some we do have some case studies that you can download. STRATAFOLIO is a cloud-based software solution that integrates with your QuickBooks. And we work with people who own and manage commercial real estate, and specifically non-multifamily commercial real estate. And we help companies in 4 specific areas. First is finance management, where we provide a global and individual entity view so you can see your financial performance. Next is asset management, where we have a compilation of all of the assets, including the purchase information, size, and ownership structure. Then there's operations management, which is the day-to-day activities for managing each asset. And then investor management, that's the investment and ownership tracking along with an investor login portal if you choose to use it. With STRATAFOLIO, we've built our technology with flexibility in mind. And what that means is we listen to our clients and your evolving needs, and we adapt the product to the ever-changing real estate landscape. So with STRATAFOLIO, you get an enterprise level product that fits alongside your established accounting foundation. We're going to start first with finance management, because most owner CFOs would really like the opportunity to see a global view of their entire portfolio and how all of the separate companies are performing. Yet this process to do this is quite daunting. It's time intensive. And so for most people, they don't ever do this. With STRATAFOLIO, we make this process seamless. You can have a comprehensive view of your entire organization. In this case, we have Brookline as the parent organization, and it has 4 separate legal entities that reside within it. And I'm going to speak to the highlighted areas as we go through here so that we can explain as we go. At the top, you will see a number of filters that allow you to control the information you're seeing. Right now, you're looking at a global view, but you can select the individual entity and company and drill into that. And here you can see all of the metrics from income all the way down to cash flow on a cash basis, on a global basis, or by entity, whichever you choose. And finally, you also have access to a detailed cash flow report that provides you with the specifics about your income and expenses. I'm going to show you now just how it works. So by selecting that drop-down entity, you can select just a single entity so you can see how it is performing. Or you can select some different presets on time. And as you will see, as you change the timelines, everything is dynamically updating. And if you hover over the graphics, more information will pop up as well. Everything is dynamic and in real time, and it gives you an instant view into your portfolio. Now we're going to address the other side of the balance sheet, the liabilities. And the problem with most accounting software is they have no way to track loans, and therefore people have to resort to really using spreadsheets to track their loans. Sure, that loan is in QuickBooks, but everything around that is not. So to combat this, we have developed our loan dashboard, and it is really unique for the industry. And in fact, many of the lenders we have spoken to about STRATAFOLIO like this feature. And they not only want to suggest it to their clients, but they have also told us that if they knew their clients were using STRATAFOLIO, they would be happy to offer them a discounted rate because it is less risk for them. It means that owner, that operator has control of their organization. And let me show you how this works. Again, these filters function the same way as the owner dashboard. They're dynamic and it controls the entire screen. And because we connect with QuickBooks, as you are paying down your loans every single month, you will have an accurate record of your debt, your total equity, and you can also see other important metrics like loan to value and debt coverage ratio. We're also monitoring each of your loans and notifying you through alerts of upcoming maturity dates. And plus, we provide an overview of your interest rate, a breakdown by lender and asset type. And finally, you're going to notice this table at the very bottom. And it lists each loan you have within your portfolio. So this dashboard is interactive. And you can analyze your portfolio, you can view it globally. And as you filter, you can click here, whoops, and you can see all of the debt that's coming up across your portfolio. And if you want to export this, you can. You can select the columns that you want to include. And you can also change where those columns are. And if you want, you can dig in and learn more about a specific loan. So here you can see the loan number, when it's maturing, and a lot of other information that you were previously tracking in a spreadsheet. I'll pause here because there is a lot of good information. Next up is asset management. Have you ever gone through your portfolio review with an insurance provider or lender and had to provide detailed information about each asset? With STRATAFOLIO, we make this simple for you and your team. All the detailed information you need is accessible to you at any time from anywhere. So we're going to look at our entity asset, I should say, Lionfish Lane. And from this location, you can manage all of the information around the asset, the building, the units, loans and valuations. The point is that you're reducing the time it takes to share this information with those who need it. And by popular demand, we did include a file management system, which allows you to add files across the system and tag that file with the very file type you need to look at for easy retrieval. It saves a lot of time for people to organize themselves. And before, our customers used to manage their files through very hard to understand structures that only the person who created it seemed to understand it. So with STRATAFOLIO, we're saving our customers significant time in order to create a structure for them to look for these files. Next up is one of my favorites. It's the operations management. And this is the place where people really love STRATAFOLIO. And we're going to talk about a word that everyone hates, and that's CAM. CAM reconciliation, or common area maintenance reconciliation. And everyone hates it because it is such a time-sensitive, time-intensive activity. And if it's done wrong, you're leaving money on the table. And we simplify this process. But first, I'm going to show you some other impactful ways that we help you with lease administration and management. You're going to notice all of the colors here. And we provide these coloring structures all throughout the system that we provide you with emails and visual alerts, allowing you to know which leases and escalations are coming due, so you don't ever have to miss a lease escalation again. Because we know that pain and impact are real, and 2 out of 3 clients that we talk to have missed a lease escalation at one point or another. But we're going to dive into one tenant pharmacy store so you can learn a little more about how the system works. So here you're looking at a mini lease abstract for this tenant, which contains a summary of the most critical elements of any lease. And you'll see across the top, it contains a bunch of different tabs that also helps you manage your lease efficiently. And then we're going to go to the one I really wanted to look at, which is the OpEx tab, which contains your CAM. And here you can, in this tenant pharmacy store, you can see all of the operating expense budgets for 2019 through 2021. And we're going to next go to the 21 budget. And here you can review your budget. I'm going to highlight it as I go to explain what I'm talking about. This annual budget of $102,000 for pharmacy store, and we estimated that for the entire year. And next you can see what we have billed for the year, which is about $51,000 when we did this, and your total actuals to that point in time when we pulled this report. And in this case, you can see that at this moment in time, that we are about $11,000 under budget. And if we wanted to, then we could pull a reconciliation report by clicking on reconcile, and we would have a document that could be shared with that client immediately. But this is not the only thing that we do to help on the operating side. Next, we're going to talk about bulk invoicing. So with STRATAFOLIO, you can invoice all of your different QuickBooks companies and tenants or customers at once with just one click. And these invoices will contain all of the correct lease escalations and operating expense charges, because we've already included that when we onboarded this customer. So missing lease escalations and the revenue associated with that will be a thing of the past. But we also do work orders. So with work orders, you can track all of your work orders by priority, status, due date, and more. And you also have a complete history of all of the work that's been performed across your portfolio. And again, here's where we have that same structure with different filtering capabilities and the coloring. But we also manage certificates of insurance. This was a highly requested feature. And so here, once again, you have a complete table of every tenant in your system, the same filtering structure, the same download structure. But here you can see which tenants have expired leases. And when every tenant in the system, if they have a certificate of insurance associated with that, they will receive an alert. And if their insurance provider also has an email, we will alert their insurance provider as well, so that tenant can provide you the updated insurance policy. You will get reminders as well, but we're trying to take that work off of you and put it on that tenant to help you keep on track of those certificates of insurance. And next, let's talk about investor management. Many of you have experienced that one investor who's routinely calling and asking for updates. And you have to stop what you're doing and put together that report for them. At the same time, many of you have also been involved in investor presentations to raise money. Nothing builds investor confidence more with lenders or investors than having real-time access and easy to access reports. So this highlight shows a list of every investor in your portfolio. And if we wanted to look at Jane Doe, which runs the Brookline organization, you can see that she is also an investor in her own company. And so the investors detailed tab here contains a high level of all the investments that she has in her portfolio. But if she wants to drill down for more information, she can. And she can see all of the investments that she has in her portfolio. And with all of our views, everything is able to be exported to CSV, Excel, or PDF, and she can choose which columns she wants to keep or remove. Now, we also offer an investor login, so you can give your investors access to their investments. And if you choose to take this approach, you can see the exported data you want to send them, or it can be in real time at your fingertips. And we have just added distribution, so you can see in a graphical format what the returns are on all of those investments that are out there across time. And if you're interested in knowing more about that, please feel free to contact me. And finally, our last benefit is our full service onboarding. When it comes to a software solution, nothing sets you up for success more than the initial data upload and having it accurately set up and mapping your data. And that is why STRATAFOLIO has a full service onboarding team. We do a full service onboarding because we know your teams are strapped for time. You provide all of the information, your loans, your leases, the spreadsheets, your previous CAM reconciliations, your contacts, and we drive getting everything loaded correctly. And our onboarding team is they're US-based accountants who are also QuickBooks Pro advisors. They're experts at what they do, and they know and understand commercial real estate. 95% of the time, our onboarding team finds both lost and immediate near-term opportunities to recover revenue. And these lost revenue opportunities amount to more than the actual cost of the software. And unlike most customer service or onboarding teams in the industry, we do take great pains with our onboarding and training afterwards, so your team is comfortable using the system, and we're available for questions afterwards. Or you can check out our knowledge base to answer your own questions.
Excuse me, Jerry.
Yes.
We just had a question come through. The question was, how long does the onboarding take?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does vary wildly from team to team. We've completed onboarding in just a week. And in other situations for clients who have hundreds of leases, it's taken us 6 to 8 weeks to get done. Our goal is always to have our customers up and running in 30 to 45 days. We want your information in as quickly as possible so that you can gain the benefits of the system as quickly as possible.
Great. Another question actually just came through from Betty. She asked, this software can also provide regular monthly accounting, cutting checks, etc.
We will be able to do, so you can invoice your tenants through STRATAFOLIO. So it does not remove the work that you would do normally in QuickBooks, except for that invoicing tenants piece. But all of those expenses and incomes will come through each of your separate QuickBooks company files and then flow through to that dashboard that I was showing you. Betty, did that answer your question? All right. Well, if we don't have any other questions, all right, excellent. Thank you, Betty. If we don't have any other questions, my contact information again is on the screen.